Imagine checking into a hotel where the owner designed the entire building to kill you. In 1893, Chicago welcomed the world. Millions arrived for the World's Fair, drawn by promises of progress, wonder, and opportunity. The city was alive with innovation, electric lights, modern architecture, a vision of the future. Few of those visitors suspected that just beyond the glow of the fairgrounds, something far darker was taking shape. His name was Herman Webster Mudgett. History would come to know him as H. Holmes. Holmes was intelligent, articulate, and well-educated. He studied medicine and understood the human body with clinical precision. To those who met him, he appeared respectable, trustworthy, ordinary. He ran a pharmacy, spoke politely, presented himself as a man of reason and professionalism. But appearances, in Holmes's world, were carefully constructed. Beneath the calm exterior was a man driven by control, deception, and profit. The World's Fair gave him opportunity. With thousands of strangers pouring into Chicago, Holmes purchased land in the Inglewood neighborhood. There he began construction on a 3-story building. To the city, it was simply a hotel, a place for visitors to stay during the fair. To Holmes, it was something else entirely. It would later be known as the Murder Castle. The interior of the building was intentionally confusing. Hallways twisted unpredictably. Staircases led nowhere. Some doors opened into solid brick walls. Rooms were soundproofed to prevent any noise from escaping. Others were fitted with gas lines, allowing Holmes to control the air inside from outside the room. Trapdoors were hidden beneath carpets, dropping victims directly into the basement below. Holmes supervised every detail of the construction himself. Workers were frequently dismissed before they could understand the full layout of the building. No single person ever saw the complete design. That confusion was intentional. The building itself became a weapon, and by the time construction was complete, the victims were already arriving.
Many of the people who entered Holmes' building were young women. They came to Chicago seeking opportunity during the World's Fair. Some were offered employment, others were offered lodging. A few were offered something more personal. Holmes understood vulnerability. He targeted those least likely to be questioned. Once inside, control shifted entirely to him. Hallways were designed to disorient. Rooms became traps. Some rooms were sealed and connected to gas lines.
Holmes could release gas remotely. He watched through hidden peepholes. Other victims were locked in soundproof rooms. Their voices never reached the outside world. Some fell through trapdoors, dropping directly into the basement. The basement was a workspace. Holmes installed surgical tables. Acid vats stood nearby. His medical training allowed efficiency. Bodies were stripped of flesh, bones were cleaned, skeletons were prepared for sale. Medical schools were eager buyers. Murder became a business. Insurance fraud followed. Holmes named himself beneficiary. Some deaths were staged, others left no bodies behind. Records were altered, names disappeared. Families waited for letters that never came. Some victims were never reported missing. Others were dismissed as runaways. Holmes confessed to 27 murders. Investigators believed the number was higher. Some estimates reached into the dozens. Others believed it exceeded 100. What disturbed investigators most was how long it continued. Holmes operated openly for years. Suspicion did not begin with missing persons. It began with money. Holmes had entered a business deal with a former associate. The arrangement involved insurance fraud. A staged death was planned, but the plan failed. Insurance investigators noticed inconsistencies. Names did not match. Dates conflicted. Stories changed. Investigators followed the financial trail. It led repeatedly back to Holmes. Authorities began watching him closely. Holmes fled Chicago. He traveled across the country. Eventually, he was arrested in Boston. At first, the charges were financial. Then, investigators searched the building. What they found shocked them. Hidden rooms, secret passages, windowless rooms, gas lines embedded in walls, trapdoors beneath carpets, and the basement. Evidence of human remains. The scale became impossible to ignore. Holmes was transferred to Chicago. He was charged with murder. The trial drew national attention. Newspapers followed every detail. Holmes remained calm throughout. He showed little remorse. Witnesses described elaborate deception. Physical evidence supported their claims. The verdict was inevitable. Holmes was found guilty. He was sentenced to death. Execution was set by hanging. Holmes requested to be buried in concrete. He feared grave robbers. On May 7, 1896, the sentence was carried out. Holmes was pronounced dead. The murder castle was later destroyed, but the story did not disappear. Holmes became America's first modern serial killer. His crimes reshaped public understanding of evil. They exposed how violence can hide behind respectability and how systems can fail to notice until it is too late. This was the case of H.H. Holmes. Subscribe for more real-life stories.